Hello, welcome back to Past Pop Culture. I'm Mrphen, and with me is Ricky.
What's up, guys?
Today we're going to do two big reveals, because over the weekend, Thor Love and Thunder came out, and the season finale of The Boys, Season 3.
Yep.
Interesting time for movies and TV, obviously. One's better than the other. Can you guess? Which one do you want to start with, Ricky?
Okay, we're gonna be I guess we're gonna be haters, and we'll talk about Love and Thunder.
Good.
And then we'll end on a good note, because I feel like usually we start on the good note and then we end on the
We end
bad
on the
note
bad
with
note,
this
yeah.
podcast. So, yeah. So basically, our Thor review, Love and Thunder, it's gonna be with spoilers. We're gonna be talking about certain scenes and stuff. So of course, if you haven't watched it yet, I would recommend, don't watch it. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to watch it, you're gonna be like an NPC like us and watch every single Marvel movie no matter what they pump out.
Yep.
Go ahead and watch it. It's not terrible, but the potential was there. So that's the only thing. Going in, Christian Bale, magnificent.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's actually interesting, Ricky, because
everyone's
saying that. Yeah, everyone's saying that.
He was too good for the
Yep.
movie. He was too good for the movie. That's it. That's my review.
Yep.
It's like, and that's the only thing. But yes, again, we are going to go into spoiler territory. So if you want to go watch it, go ahead and watch it and then come back, put us on pause, watch later, however it works on your platform. But yeah, I think that's enough spoiler warning. So I guess in general, I think just to go right for it, what's the review for it? Well, what's the rating here out of 10? What do we got? What would you say?
I don't know, because we saw it Saturday, so and then I kind of sat with it for a few days, and I don't think I really liked it. I give it almost 6. I lowered it because I thought it was a 7, but the only reason it's a 7 is because of Christian Bale. But it's but that's not enough reason to be a 7, so I'm gonna say barely a 6. Because it just I don't know, I just didn't like the mixture of Christian Bale plus comedy,
Okay, so mine's I was sitting more at a 7, but that's mainly because Christian Bale.
Exactly.
If not, it'd be like a 5-6.
Exactly.
It's not the weakest Thor movie. I think that's still The Dark World. That's and then it's like The Dark World, the first Thor, Ragnarok. Or this one, then Ragnarok is the best. Sorry. So yeah, it's Ragnarok is still better. I don't know how to word it. There's a lot to say about this movie that it's I think the best way to say is they just squandered a lot of opportunity with the movie. I think killing God Butcher off
in the stupidest way again.
I don't. Yeah, it was kind of the power of love thing, and I get it. I mean, it's love and thunder, that's kind of the whole theme. But I don't know, man. I watched the whole movie. I'm like, God Butcher's overpowered. He's OP. How are they gonna beat him? And then they have, and same thing for WandaVision and what was it? The last Doctor Strange movie. You had she was too powerful, right? Oh, she kills pretty much all the Illuminati. Okay, how do we actually defeat her? And it's and she's just oh, the kids, think of the children, and then
so
it's oh, okay, yeah. But and so that's what I don't like is that because we're making these super powerful characters, right? God Butcher, Wanda, and it's just what are we gonna do with them to beat them? And it's oh, well, we're just gonna say the power of love or something that.
Yeah, they got feelings.
And so it's I feel like it's such a cop out, and I felt like it was a cop out, the ending, and that's what mainly bothered me is that it would. I mean, honestly, I think it would have just been a balls to the wall move if they actually killed all the gods.
But see, that's my biggest gripe right now is because he's called the God Butcher. We only see him kill one god. But WandaVision, I mean, he killed a bunch, but he
off
only
screen he killed.
And I hate that.
Couple gods.
And WandaVision, she just full on caved in the guy's head, and it's why didn't we see that for the God Butcher attacking gods? That would have been some cool scenes.
Especially with how menacing and scary
Exactly.
Christian Bale portrayed God Butcher. Like, I don't know too much about the comic version of him, but I don't care. Like, this version was really good. Like, he was just like but you could tell it wasn't like Christian Bale 100%. Like, you can tell like they had him like tone it down just a little bit. Like it was just the acting skills of Chris Hemsworth and co. Like, it was fine, but like you got Christian Bale over here just like going nuts on this thing, right?
Yep.
And like his facial features, like his movement, his voice,
Everything.
the flutter in the voice, and like talking around and like doing all these things, and it was really good. Like, he was like a non-traditional MCU villain, which I enjoyed. He wasn't very traditional. He was actually menacing, actually scary, and there was an actual threat, right? And I think that they just wasted it. I think it would have been a crazy move to go, oh yeah, he killed all the gods, and then like like they all start dropping or whatever. Like, I think that would have been crazy, because I thought like maybe there's some like, especially because we saw it again, like spoilers, but with the Eternals, there's that kind of like references and stuff like that, like to what happened there. So then, but we still haven't figured out, hey, what happened to that giant, I guess like ice rock now, I guess, like on Earth, because he's just like frozen now. It's like we haven't really like figured out like what that is. Like, no one's mentioned it again. So I was
that's the problem with the MCU right now. There's no point.
Yeah, because I don't know where this like lands in the timeline.
Exactly. And how many times have we said that? Like, or at least I've said that in every single movie.
It's after, of course, Endgame, right? It's after Endgame, but it doesn't. I don't know if this is like before Eternals, because you do see some of them. The main thing though for me is like I don't know. I guess maybe things are just getting too complicated and they're kind of skipping around, and that's why I feel like what's going on. But I just feel like God Butcher would have just been sick if he actually killed all the gods. I was expecting them like they were going to be just following after him to kill the gods. The whole, like, he was just killing god after god after god, and then it was just going to cause some imbalance in the universe, and then like it was going to, I don't know. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting him to kidnap the kids and that be the whole plot. Like, I thought that was going to be like a part of it. Like, he was going to like use him and then like, but I don't know. It just felt like there could have been so much cooler like plot line to it, like, because he was good, he was killing the gods, right? Like, that's crazy. Like,
it was too easy. It was, all he wanted was the axe, so he didn't have to kill like all those gods. But I feel like if they went the route of like, hey, maybe when Thor went to, what's it called, the Omni whatever, the meeting of the gods or whatever, Zeus did his whole show and everything. Like, what if the God Butcher just like showed up there and like did a massacre, and then they lose, but then they somehow found out it's like, oh, he's only after the axe, and then Thor's like, oh, okay, well, gods are dying because of me, blah 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 blah. Let's go face him, and then that's how it ends the movie. But instead, it's just like, oh yeah, I stole kids, and now I'm gonna wait. I don't know.
I get stupid. It. I understood it. Like, okay, yeah, he's gonna use them as like
bait.
The bait, but I don't know. It just felt like I felt like there could have been different routes, something cooler, something better, a little more interesting. I didn't like the scene though when all the kids were like fighting. It was kind of funny for a second, but I think it went on a little too long, and I was like, okay, we get it. Like, haha, it's little kids fighting these monsters.
Power to the people. Woo.
Yeah, like like it's fine, but it's just like at the same time I was like, okay, like, all right, like I kind of like want to just see Christian Bale. Like, that's how I felt like 90% of the movie. Like, I just want to see his scene. Like, where's he at?
Yep.
Like, and then it was just like, I thought Natalie Portman was good. I don't like what they did.
They killed her off.
The Mighty Thor. And okay, because like I personally, I don't like it when they just do like a gender bent version of a character. Like, oh look, it's a female character, but what if it was a guy? Haha, look. But hers made sense. but yeah, because it did make sense, and I guess it's supposed to kind of follow the comic because the female Thor in the comic does have cancer, and then like so that they took that storyline and just put it for Natalie Portman, and I really liked that. But then like it just felt like
she did.
Okay, yeah, we're done here. And then I was like, what? I was like, did they only sign her for one movie? Same thing. Probably that's what happened. Like,
I feel like Ricky, this movie could have been at least 2 movies. I think they should have kept Natalie Portman and like have her discover more of like her powers, blah blah blah.
Yes,
because I don't know
like
if
the movie was too quick.
Yeah, and like the
movie was sub 2 hours, dude. Did you know that it was sub 2 hours?
And it felt forever. But like God Butcher should be unstoppable. Like they lose, and then part 2 is like the big battle and then not to like skip around, but the very end credit scene, Zeus is alive. Because Thor threw the bolt through his chest or whatever. His leg is like, oh, now it's time to fight Thor, and it's like, wouldn't it be cool if like maybe in the end credit like God Butcher's still alive, and they're like, hey, you don't like Thor, let's team up. I need his hammer, you get Thor, kind of thing or something. But now it's like, oh, now it's the gods against Thor. When it's like, well, what about the God Butcher? But I mean, I guess because I guess you could justify because that's
dumb ideas or something.
Well, no,
I don't. Like, I feel like it could have been better. I like that. I like that though. I think it could have been better. I think you're right. Like I think it would have been like some unholy alliance with Zeus and the God Butcher, right? Because I thought it was weird how much they showed off the Guardians of the Galaxy in the trailer. I thought they were going to be more in the movie.
I thought they were going to be in the movie.
And because we were talking about like in the podcast before, like I don't want them too much in the movie. And they were, they were unnecessary. I mean, they had to kind of set up like, oh, love and look into the eyes of the people you love and you'll know and stuff like that. Like they had to set that up. But a lot of it was just kind of like filler, I felt like at the beginning. Like it was just like to have the Guardians of the Galaxy in there so they can put it in the trailer. So then people are like, what are they doing in the trailer? And that's what I kind of felt
false
like
advertising.
It was more.
Time to sue.
Because like, I thought I was waiting for the Guardians to show up like half the time when they're like, hey, we need a ship. We need to be able to get there. I thought they were just going to call them instead of doing like the whole goats thing.
They could have done that.
Know? I thought they were just going to call them and then it was going to be like a team up. I mean, I don't know. I don't really want the Guardians in there. I want Thor to have his own movie kind of thing. But it's like if the one time it kind of would have made sense, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what I want. It's just like the movie's kind of like, I don't know. I guess that's the best way to put it. It's just a lot of like, I don't know. Maybe we could have done it this way or that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the worst piece of cinema I've ever watched.
It's close.
But I think
in terms of like, Marvel, how about that?
No, I still enjoyed this one. There was like a base level enjoyment, I feel like, with it versus like something that was kind of boring. Like, I didn't really enjoy the first 2 Thors that much. Like, I thought they were like okay, and then the Dark World was pretty boring. But like, I would say like that's kind of like the low, like Captain Marvel and all that. It's kind of like the lower, like Black Widow, like those are kind of like more like on the like lower end of this spectrum of the Marvel movies that are like bad and it's kind of like I don't know. So I mean this phase is kind of interesting because you keep saying like, well, what does this contribute to the main plot? What does this contribute to the main storyline they're trying to set up? Because we have the Eternals, we're trying to set up, oh, we got this gods and that gods, and I thought God Butcher would have been a little bit like, I thought it was going to advance things a little bit more because I thought he was going to start killing all the gods and it was going to cause all the like
the Celestials come out or something.
Yeah, the Celestials, to like wake up and be like, whoa, why are we dying? Nope. And then it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like the little girl Love, like she's going to play a bigger part because she's supposed to be all like magical, I guess. And I don't know what they're going to set up for her, but I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. Like, I felt like there was so many. I felt like the best way to put it, I felt like everything was just cut and rushed. I think that's the best way. Because, like, even, like, watching it, some of the lines were just delivered a little too quick, a little too fast. Like, if they just cut some of the footage together, like, you knew they said something else, but they just kind of, like that scene where it's once Jane is in the hospital, right?
Right.
And he walks out and he's talking to Valkyrie, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, don't die!" And then like he just takes off, and I'm just like, that felt like kind of rushed. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like there was a little more dialogue there, and then they're just like, "Hey, Thor, don't die," and then just go. Like, I was like, "That's it." Like, you're just like, okay, like, I guess we're going now. Like, that's what it kind of just felt like. I just felt like the movie just had a really fast pace at times that was like unnecessary, and then it just like slowed down and then just was like, oh well, we need to move the plot along, so we're gonna make it quicker
Well, see
now.
that's probably true because they cut out a lot of scenes. Because I read an article, the God Butcher was supposed to meet up with Jeff Goldblum's character,
Oh yeah,
and so they
okay.
cut that out, and then they cut out the I can't remember, I still can't remember her name, the girl from Game of Thrones. They cut that out completely. And then they cut out a scene with God Butcher, you know, being too scary. So I was like, I wonder if they just cut out a bunch of like stuff.
Yeah, yeah, because so he was too scary, right? Like,
Yeah,
and you can tell we were sitting there, and like you can tell they had to tell him tone it down,
yeah,
like, because he was scary. He was like not like oh like oh you know poop my pants, but like he was like oh this is threat, like this is
yeah,
a threat,
exactly, yeah.
like like he felt. I wouldn't say like Thanos level, but he felt like oh shoot, like this guy he's killing, you know, like he's
Really,
out
I
here,
felt more
right?
threatened with God Butcher than Thanos, but that's just me
Well, I'm
personally.
talking about like
Oh,
repercussions, like
okay, okay, yeah,
like
okay.
in the whole like yeah like Thanos, but like in terms
Hmm.
of like presence, yeah, I think God Butcher was like just crazy. He was
Hmm.
cool, like he was cool, but yeah, he was just definitely like his powers were cool, right? The shadows, shadow creatures, the
Yep.
sword, right? The sword was sick,
It
right? The way
was,
he
yeah.
wielded the sword, the costume was really good,
I know
right?
how he held it and everything. Like, see, I hate Marvel for this, but like every time they start the movie so good, and then it just flops. And especially in this one, it started with Christian Bale, gave his
Mm-hmm.
backstory. It was beautiful. Like his acting was just
Mm-hmm.
like 10 out of 10 instantly. And then they cut to like, oh, this is a story about Thor Odinson, and then it's like all jokes and happy, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't want
I,
that.
I think ironically, I think if they would have took the tone with Eternals and put it
Yep.
for this movie, and
Yep.
then like if they would have switched the tones,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have done better. I don't know if that's a controversial statement, but if you
No,
made
it would have been way
Love and
better, Ricky.
Thunder, like because you could have called it Thor the God Butcher, or Thor v God
Mm-hmm.
Butcher, like just something like Thor for God Butcher or something like, or Gods Will Fall or something like that, and like put that as the title, make it all dark and scary, and then you could have had a serious Thor movie. Because I mean, Chris Hemsworth, he's not the worst actor in the world. Like he
No,
can
he's a
act,
perfect
right?
Thor.
Like he's a good Thor. It's just I
Mm.
think that they try to made him. They tried really incorporating Guardians of the Galaxy humor all across the Marvel universe,
Ugh, and
right?
I hate it
So
with a
like
passion.
because of how successful that was, and I felt like that really hurt some of these characters. I mean, Ragnarok was good, right? Because it was a refreshing take on Thor, but I think it would have been fine if they went with something a little serious for
Mm-hmm.
this one, because it's God Butcher. His name is God Butcher. He's
Yeah.
killing gods across the Marvel universe. Like outside of like Thanos, you don't really see a guy going around slicing
Murdering.
everyone's heads off, right?
Yep.
Like that, you know, like that's just and blood everywhere and dying. Like you don't really see that. Like he,
We'll see,
so
yeah,
like this
but
was a really cool opportunity,
uh-huh.
and especially like to bring in like a top class actor like Christian Bale to like come in and just do his thing, but he couldn't. They had to cut out his scene. He was too scary. I wonder what the scene was. I would like to see
Well, it's
it,
him
but
screaming
like
or something, so
yeah, like but it would have been really sick. And I feel like they kind of I don't know. It was just
see,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think because you are like mentioning a lot of stuff. Like if they kept the title Thor: Love and Thunder, fine. If they wanted like, cause what's his name, Taika or Taiki, whatever, he wanted to make, he wanted to show a different side of Thor that not many people would want, and that's fine. But like if they
Hmm.
made the whole movie darker, it would amplify the whole title Love and Thunder, because love is, the dynamic between Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth. And
Hmm.
it's like they didn't really emphasize the love part. It was just all jokes and like teehee, and then there's only like the love happened when she was dying, and then she died. And it's like
Yeah.
if they stuck with the dark tone, but the love was like the light, it would have been such a
Hmm.
like way, because it would have put
Because
more
you could
emphasis on
have the
that.
lighthearted scenes like that. Well, yes, it's
Exactly.
done with the
But
love and.
instead they filter them with jokes and not being serious. It's like that. I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, it's love, but it's like it wasn't
Yeah,
important until the very end.
yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, and that's fine. Like, yeah, like he set out and he made a kind of controversial movie, and that's
Hmm.
fine. Like, he admits it, then I don't really care. Like, I just think more. It's like I feel like they should have just used a different character. I think
Hmm.
they should have just. because I really liked Lady Thor or the Mighty Thor or whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that. I did think it was interesting. I think the problem is that um he had to go from Ragnarok,
Mm-hmm.
him, like, and then kind of finding himself. Then you have Infinity War, right, where he fails, right, and then
Mm-hmm.
Endgame, and then he's like all like just a flat,
Where he gave up.
like a fat slob. He
Mm-hmm.
gave up. He doesn't, and I think the problem is they ruined the character from there. They
Yep.
shouldn't have made him like the butt end of a joke, like, aha, look, it's
Fat
Chris
Thor.
Hemsworth in a fat suit, and he's
Yeah.
depressed and sad, and we're making fun of him for that because his mom, his dad, his brother, his
3
girlfriend
times.
left him. They all died, and then yeah, it was like I felt like it was such a weird tonal shift, like where they could have handled it a lot better. And I think if they would have just handled that aspect of him failing more maturely, then we could have gone into this and
Yep.
been like the kind of had like that redemption with Jane, right? Because
Yep.
that's what I felt like they kept trying to do, is like he wanted to redeem himself, right? Like, oh, I failed in the past, I pushed you away, and I did
Yeah, and
this,
they
and I
never
did
showed
that.
that.
But like they did, I felt like what really happened is they didn't allow Thor to sit in his emotion too much
Yep.
with that, because they're just like they'd have to add in the joke, right? Because you can't have it be too serious, right? Same thing, like they show Thor depressed, but they can't actually show him have depression, like so they have to just like, oh, we're just gonna make him fat and then like cry
Because the
funny.
emotions are bad.
So it's like, yeah, it's like, but they could have handled the character maturely, right? Because like, especially after like Endgame, you have Tony Stark, right? And then Captain America is basically gone, Steve Rogers, and all these things where it's like, it is sad. It is a sad ending, and especially because he failed. He failed a lot of people, and it's like if they would have handled his character more maturely instead of making it a joke,
Yep.
I think this movie would have been set up a lot better. Because then the setup for this one could have gone a lot better. Because like you saw like at the beginning they were kind of reconciling, like, oh yeah, he just started working out and feeling better. Like what? Like
Yeah, like
he
why?
just like
What?
he just dug himself out just like
Yeah.
that. Like, I mean, I get it, like, oh, he's trying to find peace, and they made like some jokes and stuff, but it wasn't like there was no substance to it, really. I
Yeah.
feel like there was just a lot of like, yeah, he meditated and like he did a few battles by hanging out with the Guardians, and yeah, he just got better,
No, it's like that's not how it works.
And I felt like if he would have gotten better throughout the movie, along with Jane reconciling with death, I think that would have been a lot. Yeah, I think that would have been a lot better to explore his character. But I feel like the problem is like he was the punchline, and to go serious, the whiplash from that, and then like to go from serious to joke to serious again, and then I don't know, maybe it's just the whiplash, and just he probably didn't want to spend too much time on him being depressed, because that's probably not the direction he wanted for the character. And then it was just like he was just like, oh yeah, he did some push-ups and lifted stuff, and yeah, he feels better now. But I felt like also too, like that aspect of him growing, right, kind of just like got thrown out of the window a little bit more, right? Like his whole like more contemplation, like identity that he was trying to like grow, it kind of just went out the window, and he just became regular Thor again. Like that, like it wasn't
That's
like
true.
he evolved, he just went back to how he was. And then so I don't feel like, I felt like they kind of regressed him to seem like he progressed, when in reality they should have used Lady Thor and the death to help progress him, especially with God Butcher. I think that would have been really good, is like with his daughter dying, right?
Yeah.
Like there could have been something there, a little more substance. But it's the thing is, it's a Marvel movie, so even if you wanted to do that, they're gonna be like, oh, dude, it's just Thor. He just hits stuff, man. Like just beat up the dude.
That's stupid. Like
I know, I know.
I think
but
they're just afraid of like showing the emotions of superheroes. That's what I think.
yeah, because yeah, what superheroes are supposed to be like, oh, the best of us. But like, what's the best part, right? Like when you see, Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man, people like seeing him down on his luck, not because we hate him, but because he just feels more human. Because it's like everyone's down on their luck. Yeah. And then so yeah, he's crying, he's sad, he's like he has to do this, and he's probably the most emotional character.
Yep.
Out of all the men, right? Like he's the most emotional character, the Spider-Man, MCU, Peter Parker. And so, but like all his scenes like where he is emotional is super famous, right? Like, oh, I'm not feeling so
Exactly.
well, Mr. Stark, or
Yeah.
I'm not like, and then, or when he's crying over Mary Jane, I'm sorry, Aunt May,
Yep.
and then when he's having to realize like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave like Ned and Mary Jane,
Well, even when
and
he was
she's
like
kind of
beating the
there.
living poop out of Green Goblin, right?
Yeah,
Like
or
emotion.
or when he's super angry
Yeah.
like that, right? Like, because he has a lot of emotional scenes,
Mm-hmm.
right? um and so I think like that's better, like that's where the character is allowed to have some emotion. But I feel like, especially with someone like Thor, they have to make him so stoic, where I
No,
think that's the
that's.
problem, is that he was too stoic in the other movies, so he didn't have much character, and then they tried
Mm-hmm.
making him funny, and then they tried character progression, and they kind of went, that's where it kind of got messed
Mm-hmm.
up, like, oh, he just plays video games and he's fat and depressed, and then
Hey, that's
but I don't
me.
know, it was just a mess. Like I like his character arc was just a mess, and I think that that's what kind of hurt this movie overall. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't blame the director too much, but um
Or can we?
I don't know. I still, there's still enjoyable aspects, but I think the problem is just I felt like there was just a lot of wasted potential with God Butcher.
Yep.
Natalie Portman coming back, reprising her role, and then they didn't even add Jeff Goldblum's scene in, right?
Yep.
No one's really mentioned anything like, hey, we have these Eternals, right?
Yep.
Like there's all this
Well,
stuff
like,
going on,
where's Shang
like,
Chi? Or Loki's a time
yeah,
traveler now. Like, hello.
yeah, and they really didn't mention anything like
With anybody, Moon Knight,
with
nothing.
any,
Like Moon Knight has
yeah.
gods. Shouldn't he be like in this
Yeah,
movie?
like I was waiting for a scene like one of the Egyptian gods kind of showing up, or I don't know, maybe he was in the background.
I highly
I don't
doubt that.
know, but it was like, I
That
don't know. It's just kind of weird, like, because like even my brother was like, I'm surprised they didn't pan in on more of the gods to kind of see like who's there, because it was just so
exactly.
quick. Like you had to like you could only like make out like one or two, and then like it was like, oh, they were kind
Yeah,
of just generic
we got the
gods.
dumpling god.
What. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was kind of funny, but I was like, I would like more and just kind of
I don't
seeing
know.
like
See, I
connect
think
things.
I think I go into these Marvel movies or shows always asking what's the point? And like a lot of people are starting to say Phase 4 right now it's the most runtime. Right now we're like a lot of hours in compared to like Phase 3, Phase 2, Phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still no point. Like they're just
Yeah.
releasing these movies like yeah, maybe they trinkle in something, but it's like where is I guess the quote unquote big bad?
Yeah,
Cuz like
well, with like, yeah, I was like, just bring in Galactus or something, or the scrolls. They haven't even touched the scrolls like for forever. Like they
yeah,
just totally threw that out. And so
exactly.
it's kind of like, okay, well, we can still do that, right? I mean, I was still waiting, like maybe Doctor Strange, like you're gonna have, Fantastic Four, maybe a little X-Men come over and be like, yo, you guys killed our group, we're kind of upset, like, or something, like a
Nope, we
little
don't get that
acknowledgement
though.
of like, get that Morbius crossover going.
Oh god. Morbius 2.
But yeah,
Point
it's
5. I don't know, man. It's Marvel's stupid right
it,
now.
no, it's just I don't know. I think it's lacking direction, and I think we're just doing like these movies just to do the movies while there hasn't. I mean, everyone's like, well, they're setting up for Secret Wars and this and that, but I think the problem was like with Phase 1 and Phase 2, it was like, okay, let's get the Avengers movie, right?
Yeah.
Let's build the characters up. We're gonna get the Avengers, and then after that, we're gonna do this and do that, and then okay, we're building it. We're gonna do the Infinity. We're gonna build up to Infinity War. Okay, and then so we start building up to Infinity War. Everyone's
Yeah,
been
but
waiting for it for years, and then it's like, okay, we got it, and then it's like, all right, and then I understand why we got to calm down and cool off a little bit for a few movies, but it's like it's starting to be like, okay, yeah, but like we haven't set anything up,
I know because
not
for Thanos,
substantially.
whatever, since Phase 1, he's been like in every end credit scene essentially.
Yeah, and like even if it's just some acknowledgement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would like to see like Avengers versus X-Men. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
they cross over, like, right, because you have basically, with the Illuminati, you have Professor X. I mean, yeah, he died, right? That'd be interesting to be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, we want Doctor Strange because he kind of killed our buddy over here. Then you have the X-Men come over, and like you can just fight. It doesn't have to be comic related. It can just be, hey, you know what, we're a little upset here. We're gonna do a cool movie because we can, you know. That's it. I just want to see X-Men and
I know. Why
the
don't they
Avengers
give us
fight. That's
that?
it.
Like, you know what?
Like just
There's no point to this phase. Give us fan service. Give us X Men.
yeah,
Give us
just do
Fantastic
that.
Four.
Just like Fantastic Four, have him come in. Like
Sheesh.
have Chris Evans just be, like come back in as a
No,
human torch.
I don't mind him not being around. I don't mind the other guy as Captain America, but it's like
I think that'd be funny.
I don't know, man. Marvel's
But I
dumb.
know, but for reals, it's just kind of, I don't know. I think
DC's better.
they just gotta, and no, we just gotta find the footing here for this one, because it's like, okay, we're getting cool characters, right? Shang-Chi, we're getting, we got the Netflix characters back, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
we can start using.
But where
those.
are they?
I don't know. They haven't set anything up. I mean, we're starting to get, we got Moon Knight now, right? We're getting characters set up, and like we can make some cool characters here. Like let's start using them. Like I don't know what's going on here, kind of thing. Where it's like we're gonna see them in the larger movies or not. Or I thought we were gonna start seeing some more Eternal Celestial stuff. Like a little more acknowledgement. But I guess maybe the movie didn't do that well, so they don't really want to acknowledge it as much. It might be kind of treated like a Captain Marvel situation where it's like, yeah, they exist, but they're in the back somewhere because they're not as liked.
Because the only time they mention the Celestials being like the big bad is in Loki and Eternals, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But that's it. And then I mean, have you been watching Miss Marvel?
No, I haven't.
Because I'm not sure if it's finished or if they got one more episode. I don't remember, but it's like, okay, that's cool. We're setting up this character, but again, like you have these other kind of like, you have the Jinn, right? And spoilers, right? So you have the Jinn, right? And then you have some other, like, three-lettered organization going after her. They kind of just threw the three-letter organization out the window, only focused on the Jinn, and then it's like, okay, yeah, but like. Is there any celestial thing? Like, is this part of the bigger story? But it feels so far removed.
I mean, her power is literally celestial stuff too. So
yeah, so it's like I feel like she's so far removed. Where it's like, why is she so far removed? Like, did they think it was gonna fail? People weren't gonna like it? Were they just like, hey, we're just gonna do this one-off thing? And then like, I don't know what they're trying to set her up for. So it just kind of like. The whole thing again, like pacing issues, story issues, kind of cringe here and there, but I am still enjoying it for the most part. But I'm like, well, where does this fit into the like larger MCU timeline? Like, what's going on here? Are we setting anything up? And I don't know. Maybe it's just we were spoiled for phase 1 and 2, and really setting things up. But I don't know. Maybe they just can't make lightning strike twice or something here. But I don't know. It is kind of weird, but I guess overall, just Love and Thunder, I think it's okay. I think it's not the best movie. I think it's hard. It was just hard going from Ragnarok to this.
You could skip it if you want to.
So much happened. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you can actually probably skip it and just know that Thor has abs again, and that's the story.
Oh, that actually, yes, you are correct. That's sad.
That's
the movie.
And then there's like he just basically adopted a little girl. Like that's it. Like who has powers. That's the story right there. So yeah. The Boys though.
Boys.
That's spicy meatball. That's good. That's good.
That's a prime example of correct heroes. Well, in quotes, correct story progression. And correct everything, because this season was like by far my favorite. I don't know why. I binged it till 4 a.m., so I'm very tired. But man, Ricky.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, especially because I was watching it weekly versus you got to binge it, so you just got to go from just right like through the whole thing. But like I don't know, The Boys, 10 out of 10. I think
so
for
good.
most people.
Don't watch it with your parents though.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much just the highest rating you can really give it. I mean, the only flaw is really like I want more episodes, right? That's it. I think everyone progressed story-wise pretty well in it. I think it was good to the point where it's like I don't really have words for it. Just watch it, dude. Just watch it. If you haven't seen it, you already know what I'm talking about. It's just good. It's just good. You don't.
Yep.
There's no words. There's no words. Just it's good media. That's it.
Yep.
Like, it's Homelander.
I love how the progression for Homelander is like by far my favorite, because even like in this show, he's like you know how he's like getting those weird eye twitches, and it's like you can see him cracking.
Yeah, like his face, like his,
yeah, like he's cracking, and
like,
it's scary how scary he's becoming, and like especially because spoilers, but he takes his kid now and everything, and like the story with Soldier Boy too. Oh man,
Soldier Boy was real good. I did like that.
Oh,
he gave me anxiety through the whole time though. Just watching him like, oh, he's gonna go off. He's gonna kill Huey or something. And it's just like, yeah,
he was really literally a ticking time bomb, right?
Yeah, so it was just very interesting. I did kind of like what they did with Maeve more. They kind of, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, okay, you know, she kind of, you know, she was kicking butt, right? Homelander. And then it was just,
she had her redemption arc, you know?
Yeah, I knew they weren't going to like finish Homelander here, like, especially like on that last episode.
Yeah.
I was just like, because I know once they beat Homelander, that's it, right? Like, that's the whole
it has to be.
line.
Yep. But it's like, even then, like I wasn't expecting the twist of spoilers. Soldier Boy being the dad, technically, of Homelander. And then like that's Butcher
not in the comic apparently.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. I like that twist. That was like a big whoa. And he still wanted to beat him up. And then
it was twist after twist after twist. It kind
like Butcher fighting alongside Homelander. Woo-wee. I was like, no way. Oh man. It was well worth staying up to 4 a.m. for the show.
Yeah, and then it was like, to be him, and then Maeve kind of sacrificing herself to go to take down, you know, because you know Soldier Boy was gonna kill everybody. But yeah, perfect pick for Soldier Boy. I don't know who could have played Soldier Boy better, but it was definitely a good pick.
Chris Evans. You imagine?
That would have been pretty funny.
That would have been pretty epic.
Disney wouldn't allow that though.
I
don't think they would have allowed that.
Because he's the carbon copy of Captain America, right? Even like some of the scenes he did, like because again, you didn't see Winter Soldier, right? The TV series.
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier? No.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So remember in the part, I don't know if you can remember. I don't remember which episode where he had his shield and he was like smacking the guy in the face and like his face caved in.
Yeah.
That was in the Winter Soldier and Falcon show.
Oh,
but of course, it was more bloody.
I heard that. Like, and then also too, like, just like the whole like Ant-Man thing.
Yeah.
Like that was inspired by that too.
That was disgusting.
And like I think what I like with it is just that like they're allowed to be wacky, they're allowed to be meta, but it's not cringe meta. It's like reference, and that's it.
It's but like, it's wait not a minute, like, somebody else did this.
Yeah, it's like, haha, look, you know, you guys know what this thing is? Yeah, we know it too. We're cool, we're quirky. Like that's not what it is. It's like, oh no, they deconstruct it. And it's just like, yeah, you know that's just ridiculous. And then so I enjoyed it. There's really no like bad episodes. Like there's slower episodes that are building up, but that's it. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Like every episode's good. Every episode is just like I want another one, right? Like that's how it feels the entire time. I don't know if they're gonna just start right away on this next season because you did have is the guy who plays Homelander? He's still arrested in jail?
No, he's free. They're already they're starting filming season 5 in August. I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. So probably, you know, around this time next year again.
He was just method acting, all right, guys.
He just yeah, we'll call it that. But yeah, like man, I just wonder like because they just every season has topped the last. I don't know how they're gonna top this one.
I don't either. Well, I guess the big bad's gonna be the head explosion lady, right?
I think but I don't know. It seems like they're gonna maybe try to like take her down too. It's just there's a lot of things going on. I don't know. I feel like what's gonna end up happening is like some sort of like Civil War thing happens, right? Like you're gonna have Homelander and like all his followers going crazy, and like he's gonna kind of like start doing stuff like that. And then there's gonna be some. I feel like it's gonna be more like the next few seasons probably be like just brawling on the street kind of thing. Like it's probably gonna be anarchy. I feel like that's where you really just have left to go. It's just like just complete anarchy with the show. And
I mean, so if they can have a hero orgy, they can have Civil War. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So I think it'll be really fascinating though to see what they're gonna do for next season because they like to top themselves. I think they really like
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
okay, well, how can we make it
yeah,
crazy? And
big time.
so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's probably one of the only good like superhero media like right now. Besides like Invincible, but we only got one
Hmm.
season of that, and we're still waiting on that for that second season. So for now, this one's really good. I think it's probably the best
It
like
is.
superhero TV show
It
in
is the
general.
best. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like don't get me wrong, like Daredevil and all that stuff is good,
But a
but
different
I
good.
mean, The Boys is a little different. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just you just gotta watch it. I think that's it. It's just
What's your favorite
it's
episode?
good. Oh man, favorite episode. Um, I think I don't know. I mean, I really enjoyed the last episode, but I feel like that's like a cop out.
Oh, I like that one too.
Hmm.
That's like my favorite.
Yeah, but I feel like well, that's like the finale. Of course, it's gonna be everyone's
That's true.
favorite. I
I
do
like
like it
Black
when like
Noir.
they yeah Black Noir storyline. I did kind of like the episode where the episode where they're breaking out Soldier Boy.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And then
episode
you have
three, I
like
think.
Huey and he's just running around naked, like teleporting everybody. I just think it's funny. He's like, you guys got powers, and they're all like freaking out, and then you can kind of see him like, oh, he's like starting to go bonkers.
That's
It,
true.
it is kind of sad that they killed was it Drummer Boy or what was his name?
Drummer Boy.
Uh the guy who was like singing, he was like in the boy band
Oh, yeah,
early in the
yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's his
I
name?
felt like they did bring him in, and he was like, "Oh, he's a good person," and then yeah, he just dies. Like that's kind of like the name of the game here, and it's
Welcome
like
to the boys.
yeah, but I don't know. It's just like every time you see the logo right there, you just see the boys, and then it's just like a bloody mess, and it's like yeah, there's just I don't know. There's just something in it. I think there's just something in the brutality and violence of it all that's just like I think it
I
speaks to
know it's
everybody for some
so
reason.
gory, so raunchy, but it's like it's beautiful. Like I thought
Yeah.
Herogasm, like, because that was the big talk when it first came out. I was like, oh
Hmm.
god, and that's why I decided I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this by myself just in case it's like over the top, you know. And of course, you know, the guy opens the door with his wiener monster looking thing, and it's like, but see, that episode was actually good. Like Soldier Boy was still involved, you know, a little bit of weird progression with the Deep, and that's the first
Yeah.
fight, and that's like the first fight with Homelander against Soldier Boy and what's his name, Butcher. So it's like,
Yeah.
well,
I think yeah, like Butcher was real good in this.
I feel bad for him,
It's
to be
very
honest.
interesting. Yeah, it is. But
Now that
yeah,
we
I
know,
mean, of
not
course,
actually, now we
there's
know his
not.
story basically, right?
Yeah, now we basically do. I don't know how many more seasons this thing can really run before it gets kind of like
I
I
think
don't know how
maybe
you can keep
two
topping it.
max,
I
two
think
max.
two max like 6 seasons, and I think they gotta like cut it. Like I think they got it. We got because it's like well they do make it seem like it is coming to an end because you have Butcher where he's like I got like 12 months to live,
Yeah,
you know, and he's so it's like I'm assuming it's either next season or like they're gonna do like one more after that and then that's it because it seems like they are trying to like start bringing it
slowly,
to a
yeah.
close.
Hmm.
So man, it's gonna be insane next season. But I think that's really all I have to say is just watch it.
Like, watch it. What are you
It's
doing?
good.
If I can
Yeah,
binge it till 4 a.m. and have sleepy
you can.
eyes, you can too. That's all I'm saying.
All
All
right.
right, Ricky, you know what to do.
Little outro time, of
That's
course.
right.
If you like what you were listening to, we'd very much appreciate if you guys leave a like. If you're on YouTube, if you're on whatever streaming platform or podcast streaming platform, we very much appreciate a thumbs up, 5 stars, however it works on there. And you know, if you're on YouTube again, drop a comment. Did you like The Boys? Did you like Thor? You know, do you think it's Love and Thunder is better than Ragnarok? If it's worse than Ragnarok, how would you rate all the movies for Thor so far? You know, what is your favorite? And let us know. Also, we do stream Past the Pop Culture or twitch.tv/Past the Pop Culture, sorry. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We changed the times. We're starting at 2 o'clock now, just because, you know, some schedule shifts. But yeah, so we're going into 2 Pacific Standard Time. So we used to be at 3, so now we're at 2. So if you see us a little early, feel free, come by, hang out. If you do want to know when we are going live, because we do have confusing schedules sometimes, follow us on our Instagram or Twitter. It's again Past the Pop Culture, pretty much on all the social media platforms. Follow us on Hover, Twitter, TikTok, where we post clips of us. Instagram, usually we let people know through the stories when we're going live, and you can just click right through and just check out the Twitch. Let us know, talk to us, hang out with us. Let us know, did you like Thor? Did you not? On there we can have the live discussion going, talk about other video game related stuff or movie related stuff. We love to hang out. So yeah, we've been playing a little bit of Smite, and we were getting a little nasty with it. We were doing pretty good. We almost clutched up pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe we'll post that, because I'm a little upset that one guy threw the game basically for us. But with that being said, thank you for listening.
Peace.